Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday Wise. Do you think that your perceptions of someone can affect how they behave? And if you see someone, so you see them as inadequate, or maybe they're a slow thinker, maybe they have issues that you think that they have, does that really make them who they are? In my experience in working with relationships for over 30 years, it really does. It may not make them who they are, but it definitely has an effect on who they are and how they relate to you because of your perceptions. For example, in my work, I've worked with parents through the years, and I often hear them talking about their children, especially if that child is difficult. And so perhaps they are talking on the phone, they're talking to neighbors, they are looking for help, they might be looking for assistance in, is what they're seeing is correct, so they might be looking for that. They also might be just wanting to unload on someone because this child is difficult. And so whether you're doing that in front of them, or you think that they're distracted, they're not hearing you, they couldn't possibly be tuned in with you at all. I want to tell you that that energy of that conversation definitely has an effect on them. They feel the tone of that parent's voice. They pick it up because they're so familiar with it. So what I've learned to do with that is that when these children pick up that what the parent is saying, they have to, because they have to react to that in a way that suits what the parent is saying, because it's the law of attraction. You put something on someone, you put a perception, a judgment on someone because of the law of attraction. What happens is that comes back to you full circle, so that it proves you correct. And that's what happens in relationships, is when you can find someone in a box. That's how I call it. You can find this person, this child, someone in a box because of your perception, especially if they are very strong perceptions, because what has to come back to you is the law of attraction and proving that that is accurate. So when I brought this up to parents in the past, especially this is normally what I see when this is happening, because others may not talk about it. But when a parent comes to me and they're saying, yes, and I've talked to this neighbor and I was on the phone and, I talked to my mother about my child, and what happens is, in reminding them of what the energetic pattern is that they start to hold that child in, when they change their behavior, when they stop the conversations, that whether that child hears it or not, and they start to look at something different about that child, they start to acknowledge that that child has gifts, that they're handsome or they're beautiful or they have accomplished something. When they start to change that energy around that, the child changes. It's happened over and over and over again. So it's not just with children. Just remember, what are you doing with yourself, with others? Have you confined them in a box some way? Have you have a negative perception about them that they really can't get out of because they keep becoming more of that? So today, think about, what is it that you do in your life, that you are having judgment about others, having a perception of others that might be confining them. And then flip that coin and think about who might be having a judgment or a perception about you that you are acting out, not because you really are that, because you want to surpass that, you want to become better, different, but because they see you as that way, it's very difficult for you to feel like you can be anything different. And think about that. And in that place, if you find someone, family member, a friend that holds you in that confined place, in that box, my encouragement would be to have a communication with them. Asking them, in a neutral conversation, is, what is your honest opinion of me? I am sensing that there's an issue between us, and I really want to iron that out. I really want to correct it. I want some clarity on the perceptions that I'm having to see if we match on that. And remember that communication that is forthright, honest, and not inflammatory, that you can get things done. It's a way to discuss with others about perceptions that they may have about you. So let's see what happens, folks, and keep up your heart space, keep up your communication skills, and we will connect next week.